A lot has been said about Elder Scrolls Online in the last couple of months, and we finally had a bit more hands-on time with it, albeit with the PC version, but you know what? We plugged an Xbox controller in and we did the best we could. So basically, we've had quite a few hours, sort of head deep into Tamriel, and there's a couple of things it's doing really well, and there's a couple of things it's not doing so well with, and we thought we'd take a look at both sides of the argument here and see how it's shaping up, see if it's worth that subscription fee that so many of you seem to have such an issue with. So, first of all, the opener. That's going to be an integral point for Elder Scrolls Online because, you're going to take your first steps into Tamriel and you're going to hit a wall, basically. The wall being, the first areas are very closed, they're very sort of narrative driven, they are very scripted. That is completely at odds with what an Elder Scrolls game has always been. They've been sort of, then you break out the prison, there you go, you can run riot in the world, have your fun. The first 10 levels are going to feel like a bit of a chore in that regard, and sadly those first 10 levels are going to take about 6 to 10 hours, so it's no small time investment.
It's one of those issues, I guess, with the MMO of an Elder Scrolls game, that it's kind of clashing with what an MMO needs to be and what an Elder Scrolls game needs to be. There's certain expectations for both sides, and there's a compromise being made that might end up disappointing everybody.
Yeah, one thing that's a bit worrying is ZeniMax sort of turning around and saying, oh, it's like a single-player RPG, there's just loads of other people around here. And that feels like it's basically on the fence. Elder Scrolls Online needs to decide what it's going to do and what it wants to let you do. And as it looks now, it really needs to sort it out quickly because, the areas are very crowded, as you'd expect. You've got hundreds of other people doing the same quests. There's a little bit of the queuing that you used to get in early Final Fantasy XI and, to an extent, Phantasy Star Universe days where people would be queuing up for item drops, people would be queuing up to go and do dungeons. And it diminishes that experience somewhat purely because it's pushing you to be this lone hero at the same time, and you can't have both.
So on the whole then, beginning of the game a little bit slow, kind of clashing against the nature of what Skyrim wants to be or was, and Elder Scrolls games generally are, but also what MMO games need to be. But of course, still a beta, coming out in April on PC and then later in the summer, in June I think, on Xbox One.
Yep.
So still a lot of time to fix it. What are they doing right already?
Yeah, I mean, right out the bat, as we said, you're going to hit this wall once you've started, but a little bit before that, you're going to get to be able to customize your character. In Skyrim and Oblivion, and even the Fallout games have always had pretty decent customer characterization. But now, they've just sort of blown it open. You really, you get a chance between all your classic Skyrim characters, be it Nord, Brenton, or Khajiit, Argonian, whatever you want. You've got it. And you can really get it in deep and just customize. You can customize face shape, bone structure, obviously skin color, body shape, body height, hair, all of that stuff. It's all there, and for once, you're actually going to be able to create quite a decent looking character in an MMO, because what usually happens is you get the opportunity to choose a rough body type, maybe choose some custom clothes, which I always hate when they do, because inevitably you'll do the first quest and you'll be like, here's a new robe. Oh great, now I look like the other 100 people around me, but this one is actually giving you the opportunity to make your character look unique, which is very, very sweet. And that ties directly in with the sort of pretty awesome crafting system they've got in there. It's not quite as open as a Skyrim, for example, which lets you sort of organically upgrade and organically get better at the things you like to do more of. You do have to put a bit more time and effort into the sort of class selections that you choose, but it still feels really satisfying to use. It's definitely worlds above Final Fantasy XI's, which was always a chore to do anything with. And on the PC side, it feels a lot more engaging to use than even Star Wars and World of Warcraft. So that's really satisfying to see.
What about after that? Does it start to improve then?
I personally have already seen the starting area, so had the opportunity just to power through it. Everyone else is spending those 6-10 hours getting their character up to level 10, seeing what the story was about. We sort of pushed past that. We got out of it, got to Ebonheart, which was around level 10 or 11, and the game really opened up, actually, and it finally started to sort of move away from that and become a bit more unique and exactly what you'd want from an Elder Scrolls Online game, which was just to let you take a character and send it out into the world of Tamriel, and that's what happens. It doesn't restrict you to this one narrative. You can start doing side quests, you can start going off and just exploring and finding books and you know, obviously they're going to give you skills and you can refine those skills, and just the game opens in such a way that it really sort of engages you like no MMO I've played in a very long time, you know, not since those early Warcraft days when it was still sort of good and fun.
So there's plenty in the good column. There's still some stuff in the bad. The big debate still remains this sub paying for the game on Xbox One when you're already paying for Xbox Live Gold. Has the beta helped you swing one way or the other in that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've obviously been talking to a lot of people about it while we're playing the beta and talking to you guys online, and I think there's enough content here as a base to justify that $8.99 price of entry. Hopefully Microsoft will get rid of the gold requirement, because it is the sort of game where you could probably stop playing everything else for a couple of months and just dive headfirst into Tamriel and have fun and make some friends and just get a regular sort of group thing going, especially once you start to hit endgame and the raids start opening up and the PvP starts sort of getting stronger. So I think there's plenty in there to justify it. It's always going to be hard to get console players on the side of subscriptions. To be honest, free-to-play would be a negative for this game. You know, it's great to see there's not any monetization in it just yet and no pay gates or anything like that. So in my book, it's a positive. It's, you know, if it's going to benefit the game, then I'm all for it.